Every city on Earth is racing through time, rising, falling, rebuilding, again and again. We slow it all down, frame by frame, era by era. Welcome to Timelapse World. Before the wide avenues, before the 7 cities that would rise and fall on this ground, there was a river, and the first settlement to trust its banks. Generation by generation, the settlement grows inward along the water's edge. A market taking shape, a gate standing watch, a city learning its own shape. By now, this is no longer a village. It is a city with a gate, a guard, and a market loud enough to be heard from the water. Then, without warning, the raiders come. The raid passes into memory. What is left standing decides what the next city will be built around. Out of the wreckage, a new ambition rises. Not a village this time, but a fortress city, built to never fall the way the last one did. Tughlaqabad rises fast and falls faster. A hill fort built for permanence, abandoned within a generation, its walls left to the wind. Elsewhere in the city, the Alai Darwaza pays its own price. Caught in the chaos of a throne changing hands, a gateway that had stood becomes a gateway that burns. Where Tughlaqabad's rubble is cleared, a new foundation is already being laid. The city does not mourn for long. Firoz Shah Kotla rises whole. Walls, towers, a gate, and beneath it, a market finds its footing almost immediately. In 1398, Timur's armies reached the gates, what took a generation to build burns in a single afternoon. The fires die. The mason returns to his wall before the ash has even settled. This city has learned how to rebuild faster than it grieves. Delhi recovers, as it always does. Trade resumes, walls are patched, and the next chapter waits its turn. In 1526, Babur crosses into Hindustan, and Delhi changes hands one more time, the beginning of an empire that will outlast everyone before it. Under the Mughals, the city finds a different rhythm, building not for defense alone now, but for permanence, for beauty, for a dynasty that intends to stay. Domes rise. Gardens are laid out with the same care as fortifications. Delhi becomes, for a time, one of the wealthiest cities on earth. But empires age, as cities do. The grandeur remains standing even as the hands that built it change. By 1739, the empire that once dazzled the world has grown soft with wealth and slow with peace. It has forgotten for a moment that peace is never permanent. Nader Shah's army does not knock. It arrives at dawn, and by nightfall, 3 centuries of prosperity are burning in the street. What survives the fire is counted the next morning by the families who bury their dead, and by the masons who, within days, are already laying the first new stone. Then a new flag arrives on the horizon, and with it, a different kind of city altogether. (1857), the rebellion reaches Delhi's walls, and the old order makes its last stand at the gate. In the rebellion's aftermath, the British answer with demolition, punishing the city as much as conquering it. Out of the cleared ground, a cantonment takes shape. Barracks, parade grounds, a colonial order imposed street by street. For the Durbar, Delhi becomes a stage, elephants in procession, banners raised, an empire performing its own permanence. The pageantry fades, but its ambitions do not. Planners are already imagining an entirely new capital. Lutyens breaks ground on New Delhi. Wide avenues, government buildings, a city designed from a drafting table rather than grown from a riverbank. The dust of construction settles into the dust of a finished boulevard. For a while, life here is quiet, orderly, and entirely colonial, an Edwardian afternoon transplanted onto Indian soil. Then the Viceroy's motorcade passes through, banners and outriders announcing a power that still believes itself unshakable. The ceremony ends. Ordinary business resumes on the same street the motorcade just left. But the street is changing under its own power now. Simon go back. Purna Swaraj, quit India, different years, different placards, the same demand growing louder each time. On the 15th of August, 1947, the flag comes down, and a new one rises in its place. Years that follow independence, the city holds on to something older. The saris, the brass, the rhythms that no empire ever managed to erase. And still, someone kneels to begin a Rangoli pattern on the same stones that have held this street for centuries. The music starts first, sitar, then shehnai, then tabla, and before long, the street is dancing. By the time the whole troop joins, the crowd 4 generations deep, the Qutub Minar and the fort behind them, exactly as they have always stood. This is not a single moment. It is 3,400 years, dancing in the same place it began. The city changes its buildings, its rulers, its name for itself again and again. What it never changes is this: the river, the ground, and the people who keep coming back to stand on it.